So you were just talking with a sales rep, and they said that they represented a boutique marketing agency. In this video, coming from the perspective of an industry insider, I'm going to go over a couple of things. One, why I think a lot of the time when that is said, it's probably not true, and why I believe they would say it if it's not true, and what you should probably glean from that. Very simply, the biggest reason that I think it's probably not true when you're talking to a sales rep claiming that they represent a boutique agency is because they're a sales rep. Let's unpack that for a minute. Think about what a sales rep does and how they get paid. Generally, sales reps for marketing agencies have to continuously go out there and sell more marketing programs, more website redesigns, more SEO programs, social media management, whatever it is the agency carries as services. That sales rep only gets paid if they keep going out there and keep closing those deals. Well, what is a boutique agency? Generally, anytime somebody describes themselves as that, what they're basically saying is, I am small, I like to only work with a small group of clients at a time that we don't have to have a ton of people to do a good job at. We like to have close personal relationships with our clients, and we like to be very hands-on. We do not want to work in chaos. We don't want to have so much going on that everybody is stressed and burned out. And we generally don't have a whole lot of turnover with our clients. You might glean from that a boutique agency might have long-term relationships where they work with the same client for a long time. Well, I think you can see now with that explanation, that's not very compatible with a sales rep. How is that person supposed to go out there and earn a legit paycheck if they aren't really able to constantly be closing new deals? Because if they were, that agency is not a boutique agency. They're just an agency. The business trajectory of your typical agency is, if you were to ask them the question, well, how many sales do you want? Generally, their answer is, as many as I can get, and I will find the team to keep growing and make that happen. Speaking as somebody who does consider himself a small boutique business, that's exactly how I would describe my process. I generally only work with about half a dozen ongoing SEO type clients at a time. It's also why I handle my own sales, not because I think I'm the greatest salesperson out there, simply because there is no feasible way for me to pay a sales rep for everything I just said. Most of my clients have worked with me for years. Every once in a while, there'll be a shift and a change and I'll have some space to take on something new. But generally speaking, if I could only pay a sales rep for bringing me into accounts, they would always be tapping their foot at me saying, when are we going to get another one? And I would say, I don't need another one right now. So from there, why, in my opinion, would a sales rep describe themselves as representing a boutique agency if that's not true? Just to be straight up with you, I think it's because at one time, in the last few years, the concept of a boutique agency became very competitive. Now, I want to frame this by saying, I'm not asserting that every agency tries to take on more clients than they can handle and they do shoddy work. Absolutely not true. There are plenty of agencies who do excellent work. And in a lot of cases, because of their sheer size and the volume of their team, they can do some pretty stellar stuff. On the other hand, there's a pretty big collection in any locale of pretty run-of-the-mill superficial agencies that just churn, and that's the whole business model. Churn clients, churn it, do mediocre work, push them through. And I've worked for a couple of those over the years. The model basically is always be taking on, you want to price yourself low and be competitive and take on as many clients as we can, and because you're priced low, it basically means you can never hire enough people to do a good job and totally service all of the clients you're taking on. And so that's where you get that churn and burn from. At one time, smaller businesses that describe themselves as boutique agencies, you can go into it saying, how many clients can I do a good job of per month? That's basically what I'm going to limit myself to, and then they do a good job. These really big agencies I was talking about that do really good work generally are not the competition for the ones that I'm talking about, because they're operating at totally different levels. So quite often, what you find is this mid-size agency is competing against the boutique guys that sometimes charge less, sometimes charge the same, and it got kind of the perception of you're going to get a better experience working with a boutique style person because of their low client list. And so it became attractive for sales reps to just say, yeah, I represent a boutique agency, because that carries the connotation, we don't have 300 clients, and so you're going to actually get dedicated attention from people that are in the company. I get it. why you would want to sell to that, because you're tired of maybe getting crushed by the perception of the types of agencies you actually work for. But I'm beholden to no one, and so I can just be straight up with you. If you're listening to this and you're a business owner and you've talked to a sales rep recently who has made the claim that they represent a boutique agency, again, to recap, I can't say with certainty, but I have a feeling that's probably not true, and I would be leery. Definitely do a little bit more digging into that company. Ask them a bit about their processes. How many clients do you generally work with at a time? What amount of time and hands-on touch, do you generally have with your clients in any given month? I think a lot of it will become clear at that point. And if you can't directly call somebody that you're working with, you're probably not boutique. If you're dealing with a business where there's a reception desk and there's all kinds of other stuff, you're not dealing with a boutique agency. Dollars to donuts. Hope that was interesting, at least for you guys, as a general discussion about the industry. I like doing these kind of videos to answer questions and whatnot instead of just dry instructional how-to SEO stuff, because there's plenty of that kind of content out there on YouTube, and not everybody talks about this kind of thing. So hope that was helpful. A lot of these things come from questions I'm asked. And if you have a question that you might like to see a future video on, there's a link for inquiries on my channel for contact, and I invite you to use that. And hey, if it's a good question that I think I can do a good job answering, it might just be in the next video. Catch you next time, guys.